Hey, fuck.
Well, that's how we can introduce you. Fuck. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crowley Comic Talk. I am Dr. Crow, writer of Smoke and Mirrors and soon to be producer All American Red Squirrel. Today, I am joined by Lieutenant Amazil, the writer and drawer for False Idol.
That is a new one. I'll be honest. In terms of people getting the name pronunciation wrong, that's a new one. I don't understand. You missed a whole consonant.
Amazil?
Yes.
Yeah. What did I say?
Asmil or something? Yeah. Hello, it is I, Lieutenant Amazil. How do you do?
We're doing okay, right. How about you? How are you doing?
All right. Ready to get this show on the road. I'm happy to be here.
So, tell people about your comic here real quick.
So if we're just talking about False Idol, False Idol is actually the second comic that I've created. It is a continuation of the, obviously, it's a continuation of the first comic I created called January. And in both of them, the only connecting tissue between the two of them is that it is a fan comic series based around this other webcomic called Bittersweet Candy Bowl, following these group of high schoolers going through high school life and stuff like that. January, I'll start with January because that is the not consecutive, but that's the chronological order of things. January was more of just a serious sort of a dramatic comedy in both extremes, delving into one particular character's kind of character arc or story of learning to deal with depression, suicide, and other things, learning how to cope and rehabilitate themselves in sort of way, with a lot of like hokey jokes and stuff like thrown into the mix. It's fun story. And False Idol has nothing to do with that. It takes place like I think like 1 or 2 months after those events, and it fast forwards into a different story. January had a lot of stuff going for it. It was an alternate. I I hesitate to call it alternate universe because that kind of gives it when you think of an AU story, it's like, oh, it's them, but it's in the 1940s, or it's this, but it's in space, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
The AU portion of January was literally just, hey, they did this thing in the canon. What if we don't do that? What if we just like change things a little, tweak it, and then like build this butterfly effect storyline where things just kind of spiral into a different way, where we still, but it's still very much connected to that timeline, but we're seeing just slight little changes and little different deviations, and that's where kind of the fun comes from. And so False Idol takes that to, well, at the end of January was where it kind of hit the edge of that canon timeline. As the butterfly effect goes, well, uh, should I actually explain what the butterfly effect is for people? Some people may not.
I think most people understand at least a basic understanding of what the butterfly effects.
Okay.
The idea of it being if butterfly flaps its wings, it causes a hurricane somewhere else. It change one thing, it changes something else drastically later on.
Yeah, it's a domino effect essentially. Yeah. But yeah, so by the end of January, like, we are seeing similar, the last phrase of what the canon timeline is are kind of at its peak. So like we're at like this birthday party that does happen in the canon, but things happen wildly different now because of all the different small changes that have happened because of this one small change. Anyway, False Idol kind of continues off from that timeline, but it doesn't really affect anything that January did. One thing I wanted to do was because January was meant to be kind of the this one off comic, and it ended up kind of building more and more and more. But by the end of it, I was like, this is the end. This is that storyline about this character going through this serious stuff. That's where that ends. We're not going to touch it again. We're resolving it right here, right now, and that's it. No sequel was really thought up or planned until until like a certain point where I had an idea for another story, which is what False Idol is. And true to itself, it doesn't continue off of like the problems of January. It's a completely different story. Like I was like, if I were gonna do another fan comic for Bittersweet Candy Bowl like this, I wanted it to be as wholly original. It's going to be a completely different beast. Where January was very closely tied to the canon of BCB and and its timelines, constantly making reference to things and events that have happened in the canon storyline and stuff like that. False Idol completely is a lot more original in terms of its plot line and its whole story. Start and it's kind of taken off from the start of it, where it's like the kids at graduation, which is the last chapter that I read. So I was like, here's the end of the timeline. Anything that happens afterwards in the canon does not affect it. And I'm like, there we go. It starts from that point and it hits you with a completely different plot of these kids finding out that one of the kids has a long distance relationship. It's one of the main conflicts of the canon story, and he finds out, oh no, she's disappeared. She's ran away from home, and so the kids are like, oh, hey, we're gonna go on one last adventure to go and solve the out to find her, figure out what happened, and solve this mystery. It's a great time, and it's just centered around. It's kind of funny because it does something that you typically shouldn't do in storytelling, in which the main characters are really just side characters. They're all just witnesses to what the real events of the story is. It's literally just the kids going around and asking people, "Hey, what happened here?" And then they find out. They learn things and stuff like that. Uh, right now, there are 4 chapters technically, but I break it down into two. Well, 2 that we have so far. There's 4 or 5 in total, but in particular, the first things that they happened is they go to a fashion show or the modeling agency, which is where the long distance girlfriend Sandy works at, in order to find out the circumstances of her running away. And they just learn all this stuff about, like, okay, this is how the modeling agency works. This is how these models are. This is what happened to Sandy, how she ran away, and blah blah blah. And right now in the comic, we are in the second chapter, or the second big chapter at least, of this comic, where we're delving into Sandy's life in Sandy's classmates, her best friends in school. And in there's like, that's where all this big dramatic stuff is. It's a whole. This was where kind of False Idol shows its real true colors, because it's a mystery. It starts off as like this mystery, like, oh boy, boy's gonna go on an adventure with his friends to go and find his long lost lover and figure out what happened to her, is she safe, and try and rescue her. And then it kind of boils into, oh no, there's all this stuff about her life that he never understood, that he never knew. And there's kind of a meta commentary on that because the whole kind of running, almost call it a joke, but it kind of is. The running joke or theme of it is that all these things, and it's why it's so new and why it's kind of hokey of like on the surface, the whole trope of being like, ah, yes, yeah, I was in this long distance relationship with this girl, but it turns out, oh no, she was holding all these secrets from me. Oh no, it's like that's been done before like 1,000 times, and it's nothing new. But there's a kind of hidden layer to it because all these things are, again, this is all made up. This is all new because in reality, we as readers, oh my god, this is what I was fucking talking about. You see what I mean? It
Right.
scares everyone, and now everyone is fucking terrified. There's a monster. There's a fucking monster outside your door right now. You want to?
People want to come and talk to the other people around you. It sounds like you have a interesting premise here. Our main character, he goes off with all his friends, the last hoorah before college, I think it is, and they're trying to go and find out what happened to his girlfriend. And when they get there, it's he'll be back in a second. All right, everybody, you still got me to deal with. So yeah, it's a dramatic comedy. This is a very slice of life character study of watching all these characters react to the situation that they're in. And if you're interested in reading the comic yourself, there is a link to False Idol down in the description below. You may be better off maybe actually reading what did he call it? It's a bittersweet candy bowl in January beforehand before getting into this one. Because it is an alternate universe. It is a big ensemble cast. I think there's about 7 characters here in his comic, in his fan comic that he's making. And when he's back, we'll start asking him some more things about the characters and questions. But how are you doing today, chat? Kenneth Bird, hello, everyone. Good to see you. It's good to see you, too. Just a quick update from things on my end. Smoke and Mirrors is on hiatus right now. Blue is in the process of moving from basically halfway across the country. And then everybody's understanding that that's a very stressful event. Yeah. So Smoke and Mirrors will be back probably about mid-April to do 5 more strips, and then we're going to end it for now on number 100. I'm going to do a big stream when we get to that, though, to celebrate its ending, to come to a close, and as Smoke and Mirrors moves on to the next chapter of its life. I got big plans for it. As for All American Red Squirrel, Erie is working very hard on that. She's just turned in a little bit more art to me. Soon all the character reference sheets are going to be done, and she's going to get started on pages on that, and we'll be showing those off as well. Everybody's patience is... I thank you, everyone, for your patience and everything you're doing. All your support, all your reading. I like reading all your comments and everything. It's really appreciated. Ew, gross. Ugh, get out of here. Shoo, not you. I hope you're okay, Pixie. I hope you're having fun at your mom's place. I love you, sweetie. So, I was not expecting him to leave halfway through. God, I hope he's back soon. We are going to put on something here real quick. I was not prepared for my guest star to just leave like this. Let's go ahead and see if I can make sure I'm on the first page. Yep. 154 pages, starting with January. Let's go ahead. No, I don't want to sign into Tumbler. Go away. Shoo. We will be right back.
There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the Billy O'T. The winds blew hard, I bowed it down. Blow, my bully boys, blow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her hands to the side, harpooned and bored her when she dived down low. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed, and the captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack, then tight once more. Our boats were lost, there were only 4, and still that whale did go. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on. The line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The Wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew and all. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
All right, he's still not back. God, I hope he gets back here soon, because it's kind of awkward to try to talk about his comic without him here. So I guess I'll just start reading the comic. So this is the first page of the comic that for False Idol. God, nobody's even here. Actually, God, I've never done well doing these shows solo. All right, we'll give him another 5 minutes to get back, and if he's not back by then, we'll probably have to just cancel the stream. In the meantime, here's another song for you guys.
Pour toil
Amazil, they got Morgan. In Carolinas, they got Teach. And in the channel of Kingston Bay, we got a ship called the Devil's Reach. She had 47 cannon, on deck had 14 guns. And at the wheel was Big Tom Cutter, was a noble's bastard son. The locals all knew better, they all knew to stay away. And if you passed and listened close, you could have heard them say, you should have turned back sooner, cause a reach it owns his pay. And you can't outrun her and you can't outgun her, and you know you're gonna pay. From Brighton sailed a gunship, and with them sailed 4 more. So we're sailing down to Kingston Bay, gonna settle us a score. The ships, they were all loaded, they were searching for their prize. They collect the bounty on the Devil's Reach and got Big Tom down to size. The sun, it was a setting when they slunk into the bay, and in the dark felt their skin crawl as they heard the locals say, you should have turned back sooner, cause the Reach it owns this pay. And you can't outrun her and you can't outgun her, and you know you're gonna pay. Well, the 5 ships, they were ready, just waiting for first light. With a single shot knew they'd been caught, and the Reach began the fight. It was a moonless night in August, and darkness filled that bay. But the cannon fire from those tall ships turned the dark night into day. Now the Reach, it was surrounded, there was surely no way out. But who was trapped became quite clear when they heard Tom Cutter shout, you should have turned back sooner, cause the Reach it owns this bay. And you can't outrun her and you can't outgun her, and you know you're gonna pay. After dawn the Reach it broke up, turned slowly towards the shore. That gunship slipped beneath the waves where it joined the other 4. Her sails were ripped and shredded, her mast is shards of wood. And on that shattered burning deck, Big Tom Cutter stood. He steered her towards the nearest shore, not sure if he'd succeed. But there it sits this very day with a wooden sign that reads, you should have turned back sooner, cause the Reach it owns his bay. And you can't outrun her and you can't outgun her, and you know you're gonna pay. And you can't outrun her and you can't outgun her, and you know you're gonna pay.
All right, are you back yet? No. Damn. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to reschedule this for another time, because I really want to hear more about the comic, because he's very clearly passionate about it. But he's been gone for almost over 10 minutes now. Not to mention, nobody else is here even watching it. So we'll try this again next time. I want to thank everybody for coming, and we'll see you around, all right?